my daggum shoulder still been coming out. I've been doing everything I know to do besides surgery. But for those of you guys who've been following me for a while, I'm 10 surgeries deep. I'm over surgeries. And even if I have to really limit what I'm doing now, I'm doing my best to avoid the surgery, because I notice with every surgery, I've never felt better in the long run. You know, every time I have a surgery, it seems like it gives me a nagging, aching pain for the rest of my life in that spot. But I don't really have pain in my shoulder chronically. It just keeps coming out. And when it comes out, it is probably the most painful. Oh my gosh, it feels like someone has a knife in my shoulder and is twisting it, and just doesn't feel good. It's one of the worst feelings ever, actually. But then as soon as I put it back in, like 99% of the pain just goes away and I can just catch a breath. Literally the other day I went to throw a book across me, but I think I opened up a little bit to throw the book like that, and shoulder just came all the way out. Obviously this one, I couldn't even do that movement with this shoulder. That's how loose it is, but comes out, and then it was probably the easiest it's ever came out for something. I mean, I literally tossed the book 2 feet. But then I just leaned into it, took a breath, and it was able to put it back in under a minute. And that's one of the biggest things that I've learned, is the longer that it is dislocated, the more damage it is causing when it's dislocated. This started happening from crashes. So I crashed at a race, popped it out one time, and then it seemed like it just started coming out easier and easier. But I would have to do something to it wrong for it to come out. Ever since that time in Sarasota when I crashed with Bugsy, and I hit his bike in the air, and I landed on my wrist, broke my collarbone, rolled over, dislocated my shoulder. I realized instantly my shoulder was dislocated, but I couldn't grab it, so I couldn't put it back in because my other collarbone was broken. And it took the hospital about 3 or 4 hours to put it in, and I mean, I'm just screaming in the emergency room in pain, and they had a line. Even with people that didn't seem like it was that serious, I was trying to put it in myself inside the waiting room, and it took about 3 or 4 hours for them to actually get the shoulder in. And ever since then, it's been coming out chronically. Like my shoulder, like literally ever since it was out for that long, you know, it's been coming out for stupid stuff like pulling and shutting a door, grabbing a pillow, you know, throwing a book. Like ever since, and racing too, actually. You know, before then, my shoulder would only come out if I crashed on it wrong. And then my last two main races, my shoulder dislocated without anything going wrong. I'm battling for the win, literally charging as hard as I can, and it just comes out. That's a liability. That's super risky, and that's why I've been holding back on racing, and even since the book throw, riding, to really just make sure I keep this thing in. So, you know, it would be awful if I was going full speed in a race, it came out, and I really hurt myself or somebody else. So cows are close. They're just munching up all that grass. We're actually gonna dig a big pond over there and expand our track right here. So we're having the cows munch down everywhere where we're planning on doing that work. Alright, so this next exercise was supposed to be on a bench, but I actually just felt my shoulder slip a little bit. That's how careful I gotta be. So I talked to Mr. Coach Man Anthony, and he said just do it from a hip hinge with no weight. Super simple movement, but here it is. Since I felt my shoulder slip a little bit earlier, I'm super hesitant on that movement, that's for sure. I did do 3 sets of that. That was my last one, and I am actually done with my workout. I'm gonna make myself useful here around the farm.